put a finger down if you went on a holiday to Bali after having an enormous workload with your partner and you're so excited to have 12 days of relaxation, gym, eating really well and just relaxing. You get 5 days in and all of a sudden you have the runs and then there's no other symptom and then all of a sudden you find yourself ending up in... Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a story time and I guess an explanation if you've probably noticed that I've been a little bit quieter on social media. It's not from intention. I have honestly been at what felt like rock bottom, to be really honest with you. We went to Bali, as you guys would have seen in my last vlog, and I had the most amazing 5 days until I came down with the runs on, I think it was kind of Monday night. We went out for dinner and I went and got an ice cream afterwards with Matt, and I don't really eat that and I just had to go to the toilet a couple of times, which isn't strange for me when I don't really eat like that. So I thought nothing of it, didn't have any pains. And I got up the next morning and I went to the gym, still kind of had the pains, but when I went to gym, I was fine. When I finished the gym, I came back and I was just like super cold, which it was kind of a bit rainy and a bit overcast in Bali, still like 28, but like just a bit overcast. And I feel like I just couldn't get warm. So then I took myself back to bed and I just started to do some work on the laptop, and everyone else was going to gym and I just didn't feel 100%. Like I went and did a high rocks like class and everyone else was going to gym and I was like so keen to do that because I was doing double sessions all the time. Like that's not new for me. But I was like, you know what, I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm going to go get a massage. So I went and got a massage and the massage was really great. At the end of the massage, I was like, oh my God, I really need to go to the toilet. And then that's when I made the call to go to a hydro clinic, which is kind of, you know, doctors on call. They can come to your villa or you can go to them. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go to them. I'll just get everyone done with just to make sure that there's nothing going wrong. I've had the runs now like 10 times overnight and today. So I'm obviously going to be a bit dehydrated even though I'm trying to keep my fluids up. So that's pretty much like how it started. I'm going to have my notes on my phone so I can kind of make sure I get everything noted down. So around Tuesday at 5 p.m, I came back. I actually went and got another massage because after the clinic, I was actually feeling pretty good. They just told me to stay away from fibrous foods. And so I went and had a steak and some rice and just like, I was able to eat it. So that was really good. Again, I wasn't having any pains in my stomach, like the typical Bali belly. I've been to Bali so many times and I have unfortunately had Bali belly 3 times and it didn't feel like that. It didn't come with the nausea. So at around 5 p.m. when I finished my other massage, I came back to the villa and I was just shaking uncontrollably. I was so cold. I obviously had a fever. My body was aching and I was curled over a bath, like struggling for my life, like just like shivering. Matt was like looking after me and just like, you know, all the things. So from that moment, honestly, I feel like I didn't leave bed for 3 days. I was barely able to eat more than a few bites. I have to look at this because honestly, I really can't even remember what happened in Bali because I was pretty much like not with it. Like I was in so much pain and I was literally just relying on Matt to look after me, which I'm so freaking grateful for because if I didn't have Matt, yeah, I never want to go into that. But yeah, pretty much from that moment, I didn't leave bed for, 3 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was barely able to eat more than a few bites of bread, barely able to move my body, barely able to speak. I was honestly relying solely on the support of Matt. Honestly, like, I can't even explain how scary it was. Like, at a few points, my body wasn't working. And so my symptoms was a really, really, really bad, chronically really bad migraine. And then the runs. So the migraine was probably like the worst part and obviously like the runs. However, on Wednesday night, I regressed. My Garmin, bloody love Garmins. If you don't have like abnormal heart rates and stuff like that set up, you should. My Garmin woke me up at 11:30 p.m. with an abnormal heart rate, where I woke up with sweat, my heart thumping, and chronic pain in my stomach. Matt got the doctors out immediately, and they arrived at 12 a.m. More IVs, more antis, more pain relief. At this point, I've already had 3 or 4 different IVs in my arms in the previous days. So I'm just like fully just IV'd out. The doctor, and it's crazy because like the first time I went to the clinic, it was like $180, and then it was $230, and then it was $380, and then it was $480. It was crazy. And like, so every single time it just kept getting more and more and more because I kept getting worse and worse and worse. At that point in that Wednesday night, like I can't even really recall them being there. All I know is that I was in so much pain in not only my head now, but my stomach. There was a couple of points in my stomach where they were like pushing on, and I couldn't even like have them like touch my arm. The doctor asked to see Matt outside, which is always going to be scary when they say that. And he went outside and he pretty much said that if I don't wake up better tomorrow, I need to go to the hospital because there might be something wrong with my appendix. Thursday came around and I definitely felt a little bit better. Keep in mind that this story is like pretty fast forward. There's like tears, there's like whole days of like chronic pain curled in a ball. Like, you know, I can't even remember. Like, it wasn't even that I felt like I was missing out on Bali because I was unable to even talk. I feel like I didn't talk for like days. But yeah, Thursday came around and I did feel a little bit better. I still obviously had that thumping migraine, which still to this day, which is Friday the 1st of May, I still have that migraine. Like that migraine has not gone away. It's a little bit less, actually it's a lot less compared to what it was in Bali, but it's still there chronically every single day, which is now, I don't know, like 12 days or something like that. So yeah, Thursday came around and I did feel a bit better. Still a thumping migraine, which I had since Monday, which like I said, that seemed to be the first symptom that I had, and I still have that to this day. But I was able to eat a little bit more on Thursday morning, which was really cool. Like I hadn't been able to really eat anything. And I was able to have a whole thing of banana bread and a banana. So that was like a good sign that I was like kind of like starting to be on the mend, which was really cool. But then when it came to moving, my pain was so severe. Matt made the call to take me to hospital to make sure everything was okay. So even though I was like progressing, I was also regressing at the same time in terms of pain, movement, speech, like everything like that. So we arrived at the hospital, which was honestly amazing. It was in Canggu. It was very clean. Everyone spoke amazing English. I was not really sure, like I was out of it, but Matt was not really sure if there was going to be a language barrier. So we brought Jai, who can speak Balinese, because we had a couple of doctors at the clinic. I could barely understand what he was saying. And then my second doctor, I could barely understand what he was saying. And then the 2 other doctors were amazing, fluent English. So at the hospital, everyone was fluent. Like if you closed your eyes, you would think that they would be Australian, you know? I was checked in and checked off to a CT scan before I could even figure out where the hell I was. It was so fast. I was expecting to wait, like an hour or something like that. And then we got the diagnosis. So I had a CT scan, went off to that, had a drip in my arm, just in pain relief, everything like that. Actually, I didn't have any pain relief. I only had pain relief on the Wednesday, which is why I kind of felt like I was progressing, because I didn't have any pain relief until like that Wednesday night when they came out to the doctors. So the pain was definitely going away, but I got the diagnosis from my CT scan that it was acute appendicitis and that I'm going to have surgery. ASAP because it's gonna explode. And then if that happens, I can go into sepsis and all of the things. So as you can imagine, I'm in Bali, in a third world country, and I am so afraid of surgery. So afraid of surgery. I don't know what it is. As I'm getting older, it's like you know so much more. And before we left to the hospital, I was sitting on the end of my bed, and Matt's like, "Are you okay?" And I just said to him, "I'm so scared. I'm so scared because sometimes it's better to just not know, you know?" And so he's like, "It's okay, we'll just take it moment by moment," as he always says, "and we'll figure it out." And I said, "I really, really don't want to have surgery in Bali." He's like, "Well, it's okay, we'll figure it out. We're just going to get you checked. It's okay." So as you can imagine, having this diagnosis from the doctors, and the surgeon came down and told me that I have acute appendicitis and I've got fluid around my appendix and it really has to come out like ASAP. I'm scared, I'm emotional, I'm really fucking scared. But not only that, they said that how this will happen is I'm gonna have surgery tonight if I go ahead with it, and I'm gonna be staying in hospital for 3 days, and then I have 10 days where I have to stay in Bali and be monitored and get my stitches out and everything like that. Upon administration, the hospital, just getting into a bed was $2,500. And so then you can imagine everything on top of that, which is not even the case. It's not even about money. I'm grateful that I'm able to look after myself, but just to put that in the picture for you as well. So this was a lot. After Matt talking to the doctors back and forth, which again, I honestly am in awe of Matt, the questions he was asking, his ability to advocate for me, just everything, like the questions that he had, honestly, I'm in awe of it. Like, how are you so good at this? Like, you maybe should have been a lawyer. I've said this to him so many times, but yeah, I just think that was amazing. So Matt talking to the doctors back and forth, we actually decided to make the call. We're gonna fly home. So as you can imagine, we have made the call to fly home, and we're gonna get home, and against all doctors' considerations and I guess orders and recommendations, we felt so shit, you know? Like, imagine being told one thing and you're like, I don't know what it is, but my gut says I need to get home and I'm gonna do everything to get home. Me and Matt are very alike in terms of once we have our heart and mindset on something, we will do whatever it takes to get that and pull through. Like, we're insane. That's why we're good together. But obviously this did not come easy for us, going against doctors' orders, going against doctors' recommendations, hearing what could happen if I was flying to my acute appendicitis was scary. You know, I was told that I would be fine on the plane, and then upon landing, because the pressure of the cabin, it will make my appendix like rupture, and then potentially I can go into sepsis, and then I'm gonna have a big scar because it's gonna be now emergency surgery, not elective. So there was lots of things weighing on that, but I truly believed that I was gonna make it okay, and we're gonna do whatever we could. So obviously we trusted our guts and we did like the unthinkable, and I know that people watching this will be like, oh my God, you're insane, but it will all make sense towards the end of the video to why like we just trusted our gut and why we just needed to come home. Like, at the end of the day, we are in a third world country. This hospital is amazing, but it's still a third world country that has so much to go. They're trying to be like they think that they're better than what they are, but unfortunately it still is a third world country, you know? And I don't know, we just trusted our gut. So Matt, not me, I'm on the bed unable to really do anything except for cry at this point, because I've been told I've got appendicitis and I'm so scared, and the whole thing is scary, and we are 6 hours from home, and all the things. Like, there was lots on my mind. So Matt pretty much just asked the doctor if they could make me as comfortable as possible for the flight, manage my inflammation, manage my pain, manage my nausea, because my nausea now had come because I was so anxious. Like, I didn't have any nauseousness in this whole thing, but you know, going against like doctors' orders, I really started to feel really fucking sick in my stomach of just fear and anxiousness. So the doctor agreed. He had to sign a thing saying that we're not, going against what the doctor has recommended, and that they're not liable, and all the things. And it was a really hard decision to make, like, me and Matt were there. He's been my partner for many, many years, and he didn't know what to do. And I said, I want to go home. And he's like, I think we should go home, but this is a big call. Like, what if something happens to you? And there was a lot. So then I just said, let's call my mom and let's just see what she says too. And she was like, yeah, get home. And she's like, you need to come home, or I'll fly to you. But I'm like, no, I want to come home. I need to come home. And so that was all good. So we obviously did the unthinkable. We trusted our guts in getting home. We were on the flight a few hours later. So it was Thursday. We were obviously on the flight at 10. Our flight left at 10. Pain was manageable by the hospital. They obviously helped as much getting us home. We landed and we went straight to Peninsula Private. And obviously, like, upon landing, I was so scared because obviously I had known, all the things. And on the plane, I was having really bad nightmares of like my entire organs exploding, and I'm still having really bad nightmares, to be honest. But we landed, we then drove 60 minutes to Peninsula Private, which is my home hospital. And, probably about 20 minutes from Peninsula Private, my pain really, really ramped up, but also I hadn't had any more pain relief. And I was really trying to stay in a non-pain relief state / fasted state just in case. And I wanted them to be in control of like whatever. So the team did ultrasounds, they did CT scans, and they kept me as comfortable as they could with the migraine and abdominal pain. So upon the ultrasound, they couldn't find my appendix, which if it was about to be inflamed and blow up, you'll be able to find it. So that was my first flag. The ultrasound guy was a bit like, I can't find your appendix, which they do hide, but when it's acute appendicitis, like my diagnosis in Bali, you'd be able to find it. So because they couldn't find that, they then rushed me off to a CT scan, which they were really reluctant to do because we had one in Bali, but the Bali CT scan wasn't the clearest, nor the best quality. So they wanted to just double check. So the radiation factor was just like, well, it is what it is. So I was really unable to get on top of my migraine in the hospital. I was in so much pain, light. I ended up vomiting because the pain was so bad. Obviously all the sounds in the hospital, like the beeping and the noise and the people coming in, like everything like that. It was just like a really, 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 really challenging day on Friday. But my scans came back for the CT scan, and it had nothing to do with my appendix. My gallbladder was inflamed and very, very thick walls or something like that. So when it goes inflamed, it becomes like thick. But I also have gallstones, but my gallstones are old. So that could be many years old. They're very, very small crystals. And in my ultrasound, they did say, like, you have crystals. I can see your crystals on your gallbladder. Your gallbladder is very, very, very inflamed. So it was nothing to do with my appendix. So if we rewind a little bit, I was meant to have surgery for my appendix, acute appendicitis, in Bali. And then now they're saying that my appendix is within normal, a little bit inflamed because you have a bacterial infection, which pretty much is attacking all my inside organs. Because that's what it was, guys. Like, I had a bacterial infection that has just spread massively and like attacking my organs and inflaming my insides. So I just can't even explain how thankful I am to have Matt, who is just as insane as I am, to go, like, we're gonna get home. Against all odds, we're gonna get home, and I promise, like, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna be okay, I'm gonna be safe, I'm gonna be within my community of people, my mom, my family, my sister, my, you know, everyone. Matt's gonna have the support. Like, otherwise we'll be in Bali and he's gonna be by himself and have no support. Like, it's scary enough for me, let alone imagine watching a partner. Like, I can relate because I watched Matt in his accident, and like watching your partner just like deteriorate in bed is like so heartbreaking and scary, and you just don't know what is going to happen. So I couldn't even imagine doing that alone in a different country. So like getting home was just like the best thing. So yeah, my appendix was fine. My gallbladder was not. She was really inflamed. We found obviously old crystals, but the surgeon did not want to operate, which I'm really thankful for, because we do need our gallbladder, and there would be a lot of lifestyle changes that I would make when I have no gallbladder. And it's not, I want to have all my organs inside of me. I don't want to change. Like, I am meant to be this way. It doesn't feel natural for me to have a gallbladder taken out, appendix taken out. So like, yeah, I think it's hard to know, but obviously gallbladder like is a lot of like fatty kind of foods, and maybe that's the consequences of when I was, you know, self-abusing with food. I don't know, but that's kind of where my mind goes, and that's why obviously I haven't had a flare up with the gallstones, because I don't eat like that anymore. So the surgeon was really adamant that like I'm obviously fit, strong, willing, and also 31, that I'm going to have many, many years before the gallstone starts to potentially disrupt. So he was adamant that he would get me a room, because at this point I'm still in emergency, and monitor my symptoms alongside IV antibiotics. There was 2 types of antibiotics that were pumping me in. And I was just on a bag in my arm for honestly the whole time in hospital, 24 hours of the day. Like, I didn't not have something hooked up to my arm. I was taking antibiotics through the IV. I was having hydration through the IV. And at this point, I still hadn't really eaten. I think I finally ate something on day 2. I think I had some cornflakes, and then Matt fed me some salmon, which was good. And I finished my meal, which was really, really good. I've obviously had like little bites here and there, like really, really tried. Like at the airport, for example, I had some toast, and I had pretty much the whole piece of toast, which was great. So I definitely, you know, tried my best to eat and nourish my body, because that's what my body needs when it's under this immense amount of stress. It doesn't need to be starved. It needs to be looked after. So definitely was doing that. God bless Matt. Like, he was trying to feed me. He was getting different foods, like in Bali, like those Gojaks. So it was like, try toast, try some banana, try some chicken, like try this. Like, he was trying everything. He was cleansing my face, washing my face, putting my serum on my face, brushing my hair, doing my hair. Bless him. Like, he honestly is an angel. But yeah, it's obviously now been a few days being home. And, I think I fast forwarded too much, but in hospital, I obviously was on antibiotics. My body was so inflamed. I didn't even look like myself. I'll insert some pictures. I was in a lot of pain. Now, not just my head or my stomach, it was just like how swollen I was. I was still having like hot sweats, really hot, really cold, like just like a lot, obviously fighting that bacterial infection. And upon like when I was kind of free to go home now and recover at home, my body was like unrecognizable. But I was no longer in pain, still had the migraine, still have the migraine. Woke up with it this morning, but I'm just able to monitor it now with Panadol, which is great, instead of heavy duty migraine medication, which if you're a migraine goer, you would know. But I weighed 67 kilos in hospital, and I usually weigh 58 to 59. And so that was so much inflammation. I was honestly unrecognizable. My face looked unrecognizable. I could not get off the bed by myself. Like I can't even imagine pregnancy. Like I couldn't even do my socks up. Like my stomach was so painful. I couldn't even get up off the couch by myself without having support. So it's crazy. Like I said, it's now been a few days since I've been home. I'm still not myself. Today has been probably the best day. I didn't have hot sweats last night in bed, and I'm talking like I have been having wet nights, wet, like change clothes, wet. I've been having severe nightmares, and just like severe anxiousness, to be honest, to be in bed, which is all warranted because like I've spent a lot of time in bed and a lot of that time was really painful. But I'm starting to get my appetite. I've been back tracking my food since like Monday to ensure that I am getting enough of the right food. And especially because I went, 4 days really with a nibble of toast. So I just really want to give my body as much as it can. I have just been focusing on high quality foods, but sometimes I haven't been able to have high quality foods because I honestly wanted to be sick. So sometimes it does look like a sausage roll. You got to count your wins, So yeah, yesterday was probably a good day. I went for my first walk. And I only had one Panadol for the day, which is really, really good. Wednesday, I feel like I started to turn a corner, which was nice because honestly, Monday and Tuesday, I was seriously thinking, when is this going to end? But yeah, today's Friday and I didn't have any bad dreams or a wet night with sweats, and I haven't had a Panadol yet today. I've had all my breakfast, my juice, a tea. I put a nice outfit on. I did that yesterday too because I feel like that really helps. And I feel like I'm definitely starting to move a corner. My inflammation has gone down. I've actually been documenting it every day, which I'll put some photos up here. I'm back to my normal weight range, which is just insane. Like how much, in 5 days it can change so much. Like to go from 67 to back to what I am now, my stomach, like I have like really nice, like a back erector muscles, and like my back was just like straight. My stomach, like I kind of feel like I looked like someone who had a child. Like I feel like I had like a pouch of skin that was just kind of like there. I can't explain it, but that's how I felt. It was a lot to look at and it was very, very scary. And I'm also just so grateful that because I am fit, strong, muscular, I feel like my body just knows what to do when it looks after me, which is why I think I've, bounced back fast in terms of my self and my recovery, drinking enough water, eating good foods, just giving myself rest and not falling into the narrative of like, I'm going to lose muscle. Like I haven't been to the gym now for 2 weeks. I know I'm not going to lose muscle. And if I do, I'll grow it back. Like it's not that hard. I haven't focused on my steps because I know that I just need to rest. I've just focused on resting fully, like not scrolling, which is why I haven't posted on social media. I don't really have the capacity to watch everyone else live their life right now while I'm just like feeling this way. And second, I'm trying to work like as a coach. Any capacity that I have, any limited capacity I have goes to them like they deserve. So I just want to say as well, like, I'm so grateful for my community. Like, they sent me a big, beautiful box in hospital, which just made my day. That was a really awful day. I was just so sick, vomiting, and just everything like that. And they sent me the biggest care box, and it has just made me so happy. And just seeing them all like come together and just see what I have preached to them, because like I preach self-led, and I preach not being codependent, and so that if things like this happen, they're not tracking their food or not going to the gym because I'm not watching. Like, they know that I'm watching, even if I'm not watching, you know. So I'm so grateful for my community. Like, every single one of them had sent a beautiful message or just give me space. And like, you know, it's crazy because like I was literally like dying on Wednesday, and I kept saying to Matt, I just need to do a couple of check-ins. I just need to do a couple of check-ins. And he'd be like, no, you can't. And I'd be like, I just feel like a bad coach. And he's like, no, you can't. And the truth is, I couldn't even fucking talk, man. I couldn't even think. I couldn't even move from my bed. My legs weren't working. Like, I couldn't do that. So no one understands like the pressure that you can put on yourself when you have your own business. Like, and especially like client-facing ones. Like, yeah, so I'm so grateful for my community. I'm so grateful for Matt to like hold me to a high standard and say like, you cannot work. And he was great. He was helping me write messages to my community to keep them in the loop. I think that at the end of the day, like, it comes down to communication. And I know that I would rather have someone communicate to me instead of just like, where's my coach gone? Has she just disappeared? So that's my story. I'm so grateful to be at this point. I'm so grateful to be through it. I have never been more scared. I have never been more scared. In short, like, at this point, I feel like I'm mourning not only what happened to me, but the fact that Bali is my favorite place. And I don't know if I'm going to be willing to go back, which is heartbreaking because I love Bali, but this experience has really scared me. And it's scary because you just don't know that it's going to hit for you. The doctor said that it could have been transferred via toilet, food, or water. I ate everything the same. I sanitized my hands. I'm the most healthiest, and I got hit. So I think Bali just still has such a far way to go, but this whole process has really scared me, and I know that it's definitely scared Matt. And I'm just so grateful that this didn't happen when I was traveling solo, because I do go to Bali solo. So it's just been a bit of an eye-opening moment, but I just feel like I'm kind of mourning, like, I'm mourning the holiday that should have been. Like, me and Matt have been working so hard. We both needed this holiday just like to relax. And I feel almost so guilty that like I ruined it, even though I didn't. And I've said this to him. Even though I didn't, that's just how I feel though. Like, we can't take that away from how I feel. Secondly, this holiday was meant to be something completely different, and I got 5 days of that. Very grateful that I had 5 days. And lastly, like, just mourning the fact that like I'm not sure, like, Bali was my favorite place. It's my second home. And now I'm so scared. It just has a far way to go. Well, yeah, that's my story. I think it was easier to put it in a big YouTube instead of going back and forward. I'm okay. I have all my organs. I'm on the road to recovery. Continue to look after me. And I can't wait to be I can't wait to not be puffed out going from the couch to the toilet. And I'm excited for this rebuild phase. You know, I have resilience on my arm, and Matt kept pointing to this in the hospital. And he's right. Like, every time I get pushed down, I come out on top, and I come out even better. So this rebuild season is going to be exciting. I've never not come back stronger. And that's what I will do. And I hope that, like, if you watch this and you're maybe going through seasons of like being unmotivated, or I don't know, maybe you had a cold, just choose better, because that excuse is literally nothing. The last 2 weeks, I couldn't wait to go for a walk with my dogs. Couldn't wait to be able to eat a meal. Couldn't wait to be able to get out of bed by myself. Couldn't wait to be able to go to the gym. I still haven't gone to the gym yet. I think that will be next week. Just like giving my body space and time to just heal, especially with the sweats. Like that shows that there's still something going on. But yeah, there's someone out there that has nothing that you have the ability to do. And that's been me, like the last 2 weeks, living through my clients being like, I hit a PB, I did a run. Like I'm living for it, because that's gonna be me soon. So thank you guys for watching. I'm so grateful to be here, and yeah, stay safe.